everybody. So last night was not a good night. He just wasn't smooth and was not a step forward. So he went to he tried to have his ERT last night, and during the ERT, his work of breathing was really, really escalated. Like when he was breathing, it was called retracting, where basically you see him kind of, and so he was working really hard, and so they finished the ERT in terms of stopped it. And so he failed the ERT and then went back up on his settings, and that kind of settled him out a little bit. However, he also just kind of never really got back to where he was earlier in the day, which was in a much more comfortable spot. So then he was stable, but he wasn't really in the best spot, or was not back to where he was before. And so kind of rode that for several hours, and then this morning started having harder breathing again, like the rate was up. And so during all of that, pretty much it was decided he was going to get an echo to check his heart, make sure, kind of see what was going on there. We know that his feeds have been kind of causing him some irritation and uncomfortability, so stop those. And then he also increased his Dilaudid to try and help settle him down a little bit. And then he pretty much, from that point forward, after increasing the vent settings and increasing the Dilaudid and then also increasing his oxygen, settled out. And then after that, it's been a pretty good day where he was just kind of recovering, got back to where he was yesterday morning, which was sats in the low 90s, upper 80s, and just kind of very comfortable. So then day was nice and stable. And then this evening, he ended up kind of weaning down on his FiO2, and then he had a Brady event where the code bell got hit, where a Brady event a lot of times comes from bageling, but it's where the heart rate, when we say Brady, it's bradycardia, where the heart rate gets really slow. So his heart rate went from being like 140 to 60, and it ended up popping right back up. But when it went down, his parameters is if his heart rate is below 70, the code button is to be hit. So he ended up getting coded. Everybody ran in. He did recover quickly, and there was no CPR. There's none of that. So that's the blessing. That's the praise that we're going to be happy for, is that things did not, go terribly. But it was scary, and Mallory and I were in the room, and so it brought up a lot of feelings and emotions. So we've got to deal with that. But he is doing fine. He is all right now. But they are going to look at kind of what is going forward. So when they did the echo, they did see the band is tighter, and they're thinking that kind of his events over the last 24 hours are primarily due to a multitude of factors. One, starting the feeds. Two, he's really backed up and is inflamed in his belly area with his intestines and stomach because he's backed up. Any of us who don't, poop regularly, then how irritated we get. And he's a little baby who's been on opiates for over a month and who just started feeds back after a month. And so his body is trying to figure all that out. And then also, so the band being tighter, being backed up, and then also being more mobile, being more aware and active and using up energy there. So he's got quite a bit going on. And so he's trying to figure all this out because, again, for essentially over a month, he was just there and the vent was doing all the work. He was paralyzed. So he is having to kind of take steps forward to, join back and be active again. So one of the things they decided after the echo is that he would be going to the cath lab on Monday to, at the very least, do a diagnostic catheterization to get an understanding of all of his different arteries and veins and pressures. And then if they are in there and see numbers that they don't like, then they can balloon his band out a little bit and get him back to where he will hopefully be in a more comfortable position. So that was today. Busy day. Not how we thought it was going to go, but that is what has happened. Now, on the flip side of that, we had some friends come visit us, and that was really fun. Aaron and Maddie and their little girl, Lily, came up and had dinner with us, and I cannot tell you how much I enjoy people come visit because it does, give a sense of normalcy to this, which I know sounds weird, but just sitting down and having supper with somebody who is not a medical professional is nice, which we love all of our medical team, and they're wonderful. But it is nice to have people from the outside world come visit and sit down and eat and just kind of have normal life talk. And then also I was told to give Jeff a shout out. Jeff, you know who you are, so hey. And then Hunter had fun with Gigi and Callie today, as well as going fishing with Mimi. So he had him another nice day. Again, and that's one of the things that we are very blessed with, is that he is allowed to still be a 3-year-old through all this. And so we're very thankful for that. Now, if you would pray for these 3 things, one, that his lungs and kidneys would continue to strengthen and work better, because they are intrinsically tied, just like the heart. So the heart is tied to the lungs are tied to the kidneys get rid of fluid. There's too much fluid, which is part of what happened to him yesterday. He was fluid positive plus 300, which is a lot of fluid for he's 5 months old now, for a 5-month-old to have in his chest area, which it wasn't all there, but his whole body was plus 300 and some change. And so that was just a lot for him to try and handle. And so he wasn't able to pee off all of that. That plus 300 is after he's peed for the day. So his kidneys have to be strong to pee off the fluids. That way he's not so positive. Positive 100 he can handle. Positive, I think it was 390. I think it was almost 400. But that much positivity in terms of fluid balance is just too much for him to handle in a single day, as well as belly issues and the band being tighter. Then if you would pray that he's able to start his feeds back, so that way he can continue getting nutrition, because we have been able to visibly see that he has gotten stronger once we've started feeds. Like he can move more, he's more active, he's more aware. So pray that he's able to start those back. When he does, it will probably be with an ND tube. That was the talk today, is that they will take out the NG tube and then put an ND tube in, which will still go in his nose, but it will go past his stomach into his intestines. So it kind of helps bypass the stomach a little bit, and hopefully will help remove some of the inflammation issues with his stomach and all the gas. And then third, if you would pray for all the kiddos and families who are battling CHD, because again, this is not easy for anybody. You can ask anybody who has a child who's gone through open heart surgery or any of this. And I'm sure it was the scariest time of their life. We are going on 6 months with this. And again, I don't wish this on anybody, but the reality is that people have to deal with this. So please pray for them and pray for their families, and especially pray for the kiddos who are having to go through it. But that's all I got for y'all tonight. Hope y'all continue to choose hope daily. Y'all have a good night and God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.
So you got a fish swimming to you. What kind is it?
A tuna.
A tuna? Oh my gosh.
I think he's on there.
You think he's on there?
I think he's on there now. He's going off. He's coming off.
Ooh, he must have got off.
I think I told him. I know. I think I told him. I said, we're back.
Do what?
We're back. We're back.
And Jon David, tell everybody bye-bye.